Hi, my name's Rachel Andrews. Welcome to Everyday Athlete. On this week's video, I wanted to discuss the fascination we have with the temperature of the water and actually what its relevance is to our swimming. Well, first of all, let's take a little look at the numbers. Recreational indoor pools in the UK are around about 29 degrees Celsius. The sea temperature of the British Isles is 6 to 10 degrees Celsius in winter and about 15 to 20 degrees in summer. Cold water is determined as anything that's under 15 degrees, and below 10 degrees it's called very cold water. But if you want to know whether you've been ice swimming, that happens when it's below 5 degrees. The thing is, we all enjoy outdoor swimming and we'd almost get in it no matter what. So why do we even want to know the temperature? Why are we bothered? Well, I like to record it down for myself and almost to track what the water's doing locally to me. What about you? Why are you interested in knowing the temperature? Is it because the dog walker who goes past will ask you? Or is it friends and family? What's the motivation? Why do we want to know? Well, an interesting thing is that measuring it ourselves is really pretty inaccurate. The little thermometers that we all use, whether it be the aquarium type or the floaty type or whatever you get hold of, they generally only have an accuracy of plus or minus 1 degree C. So it's in the ballpark. However, I guess if you're using the same one every time, it's probably going to be quite accurate for your own purposes. Probably one of the best ways to find out is to look on seatemperature.org, because that reads the actual temperature of the sea via satellites daily, and it gives you readouts for all over the world. One of the real relevances of knowing the temperature of the water is thinking about cold shock. You can start to hear my breathing's going a bit funny. I'm just getting in now. So, cold shock is the body's reflex where you gasp and then you get rapid breathing. As you can see, it's a bit of a struggle for me to talk. What's also happening is my heart rate's increased and so has my blood pressure. So rather than stressing my body out any further, I just need to wait until that's passed. When we first start, cold shock's likely to last quite a lot longer, and we can become acclimatised to it by getting in for 3-minute dips 5 or 6 times, so fairly regularly between them, maybe once a week or something. You can start to reduce the impact of cold shock. It's likely to reduce by about 50%. So you can see there, my breathing is returning to normal, and the cold shock has passed. Interestingly, cold shock is as intense at 10 to 15 degrees as it is at 2 degrees C. So it's not a question of how cold the water is necessarily. If it's under 15 degrees, cold shock is an ever-present issue. Now, as I've said, we can habituate to cold shock, but what we can't do is stop our body from cooling. The natural cooling will occur no matter what we do. It is affected by fatness, fitness, movement in the water, what we've eaten, all sorts of stuff like that. But we will still cool. Now, the thing to watch out for is shivering. Shivering is great, it's the body starting to reheat itself. But for those of us that are adapted, we quite often might not shiver in our time in the water because our body is adapting. However, that means we can easily put ourselves closer to clinical hypothermia of a core body temperature of 35 degrees C or less, which, of course, we're not going to be measuring. Oh. So as an adapted swimmer, be really careful. If you do start to feel a shiver coming on and you start shivering when you're in the water, get out as soon as possible and get yourself dried and start the rewarming process, because you could be pushing your limits. On that note, I'm heading in. Now, purely for my own interest, I popped an aquarium thermometer in to see how accurate it was compared to the seatemperatures.org. It said 8.3 degrees in Southampton, and this is saying 9 degrees. I don't know if you can read that. As I said, these things are accurate to within 1 degree above or below what it actually is. So for one of these, that's probably quite accurate. There are absolutely thousands of people that enjoy outdoor swimming in winter, and it really is a wonderful experience, whether it's that you enjoy being with nature, hanging out with your friends, eating cake on the side. There's so much to love about it. One thing it's not, though, is a competition. So we need to be really careful about posting times that we're in the water in combination with the temperature of the water, because this can inadvertently encourage someone who has less experience to target that time and compete in a competition that doesn't even exist. What we can say, though, is we can be scientifically accurate about the temperature, in that when someone asks us as they're walking past, "Oh, is it cold in there?" we can reply, well, yes, it's cold water if it's below 15 degrees, and if we know it's below 10 degrees, we can say it's very cold. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video, and it's given me a little bit of food for thought, perhaps about when I'm posting a picture, what other information is really necessary to go with it. We already don't give details of where we are, so do we really need to give temperature details too? If you have enjoyed it, please consider giving a comment and dropping a like. It really helps the channel. And of course, I'd love it if you'd subscribe as well. And what I'm going to do here is link a couple of my playlists about winter swimming and outdoor swimming safety. And I'll see you next time. Bye!